Hey folks, Malforian here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at lifestyles in CK3, a little bit of an overview of them. People seem to enjoy the video that I did the other day on legacies, so I thought we'd take a look at these and, you know, just to spice it up a little bit, we are going to be using one of the good old tier makers, and we're going to be ranking them. As always with tier making or, you know, ranking videos, this is my idea of where they rank. If you have a different opinion, I'm not saying you're wrong, you know, I'm not saying I'm right, but, you know, if you think of a scenario where something is useful that I've maybe not thought of, do leave a comment down below. We can have a little discussion about it, because I'm sure there's areas where I think they're no good. As always, you know, I dislike Intrigue, so I think we all know how we're going to rank those ones. But we're going to jump into it. We're going to have a quick look through, and yeah, we'll see where it takes us. So yeah, we're going to be looking here. It's 1066. We're here with Kaiser Henrik. That's terrible pronunciation of the HRE. And I think we're just going to take them in order. So we're going to start with diplomacy. And the first one here is Diplomat. Diplomat is really good. I'm sure you all know that. It helps you vassalize people quicker. You can keep people on your side a little bit longer. It's quite a good one, I find, if you're kind of a middling empire or kingdom size and you're trying to make those progressions to be a little bit of a larger realm and things like that. You've got ducal conquest, so you can now do ducal conquest, Casus Belli's, and titles are cheaper. Forced vassalization, I think this one's underrated in the community. It's like it's not a free Casus Belli, because obviously it costs you to use it, but it's a nice one where you don't need to, you know, get those claims on anyone or anything like that. You can just vassalize people, and vassalize realms, you know, they're not perfect, but it's a great way to make some you know, land grabs around where your realm is. Foreign affairs effectiveness is quite good. Flexible truces, I don't know, I think if you're expanding a lot, maybe if you're doing like a world conquest, this is a really good one, because there's no penalty for breaking truces, and truces are shorter, so you can just be constantly going to war. I think if you're playing, you know, just like a general playthrough, it's not as useful, but if you're definitely doing like a world conquest, it's really, really good. You know, defensive negotiations is great. Embassies, getting more diplomacy. Obviously, the more diplomacy you have, the more people like you, so you're going to get less factions and all that kind of stuff going on. Accomplished forger, getting those claims quicker. So if you're a feudal realm, it's really, really good. You know, it helps you get those claims to make further progression. And then the finishing thing is diplomat, which I can't remember exactly what it does. Personal scheme chance plus 25%. That's okay. Independent opinion, ruler opinion, can't even read today, plus 20, and diplomacy plus 3. So overall, I think diplomat is pretty good. All in all, it's just a general nice one. So, you know, where is it? Let's see, I can't remember what the icon is. It's this one here. I'm going to put this in a B tier, I think. I think it's pretty good. It's not amazing. It is quite situational, but overall, you can't go wrong if you choose that one. So what we're going into next, August, which, again, probably butchering the pronunciation of this one. Benevolent intent, sway scheme power, you know, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. More prestige from powerful vassals on the council. Now, to be honest, you've nearly always got your powerful vassals on the council, so this is generally plus 20% prestige for doing nothing, basically. Monthly prestige per dread. You know, if you're one of these players who like a lot of dread, then you're getting even more prestige. And monthly prestige per knight. If you're a decent sized realm, you're getting a lot of knights. You know, you've got like 10, 15 knights maybe. That's what, 30% more prestige. You're basically just printing prestige from here. Prestige maker going burr, and true ruler. This is really, really good. Offer vassalization acceptance plus 25%. If you make that kingdom title and there's dukes below you that are not in your realm, or if you make the empire title and there's kingdoms around you that are not in your realm, this is a really, really good buff to get that kind of voluntarily vassalization from these realms without having to go to war with them. It's really, really good. I do take this quite often on my playthroughs. Commission epic decision, I think that's okay. These two I think are underrated as well. Life of glory plus 100% life level of fame impact. You know, you get opinion modifiers and things like that from fame. 100% more is fantastic, and diplomacy from fame. So if you take true ruler and then you take this one, those modifiers stacked just really, really help you get those vassalizations when you're expanding with new titles and stuff like that. And then August, again, terrible pronunciation. This gives you plus 2 diplomacy, plus 1 martial, plus 1 prestige. It's okay. It's not fantastic, but by the time you've gone down the tree, it's worth doing. So August is this one. So let's have a look on the old tier maker. I think we're going to put this again in B. I think we're going to have a lot in B. A lot of them are good, but not fantastic. So I think B. I don't know. No, do you know what? I think I might put it in A. We'll put it in A for now. We might move it down, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of good benefits from it. So pretty happy with that one. So the next one is Family Hierarch. Now this one, I don't know. I don't often take this tree. I probably miss chances of like building my house better. I guess if you mix this with like the blood or kin legacy, you could get really powerful, building your dynasty up. Your children get extra skill points. Personal scheme chance against family members is improved. Close family opinion plus 15. I wonder if this one works quite well if you're in a clan. Governments, probably some nice additions. Each of your friend relations gives you 2 random skill points to a maximum of 5. Again, if you play and get a lot of friends, it is actually quite good, I suppose. Each living child gives you 1 random. This one is really good, especially once you get, if you're playing a diplomacy focused character, maybe getting that plus 30% XP rate. You don't go down August first. Again, horrible pronunciation. And then if you've got a large family hierarch is quite good. I suppose in that situation, every living child gets plus 1 random skill point. Gives you plus 1. So again, you just get some extra points on your character, which is obviously always wanted. And then with the end is Patriarch, which is fertility plus 20%, stress loss reduction, close family opinion, and house opinion. Again, it's quite good, but I personally don't think it's an amazing tree. It's not one I seek out to choose. So where is it down here? It is here. I'm going to put it in C. I think it's okay. I don't think it's ever one that I would choose. Maybe if I take over a character when they're like 16 and I fill out Diplomat in August, I'm like, well, I might as well finish Family Hierarch as well, because why not at that point. So that's all the diplomacy ones, as always, guys. If you differ from my opinion, do let me know. We're going to move on to Marshall now. How long have we been going? We've been only going 7 minutes, so this is probably about a half an hour video, so it shouldn't be too bad for us. So Marshall, this is one of my favorite trees. Lifestyles, to be honest. It's useful generally all the time, so I'll have a look at the different options. Spoiler, Gallant's my favorite out of everyone. Gallant's the one tree I take on every playthrough probably. So yeah, we got Strategist, Bellum. Oh, I forgot to change the screen over. There we go. Now you can see it. Strategist, Bellum, Justum. Cast a spell out, cost reduction minus 50. Again, if you mix this, I think there's a religious tenet that also reduces it by 50. So I think you can get free cast a spell eyes. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there is a combination of perks that you can basically get free wars, from what I remember. Engineer for Destruction, this is really good. Siege weapon effectiveness, this plus 40%. The naval speed, who cares? But the siege weapon effectiveness, fantastic. You can siege things down so much faster, especially late game. If you get up to like the bombards and things like that, you can just absolutely destroy sieges really, really quick. Living off the land, pretty good. More capacity. These all just buff your units basically. So again, generally just good, especially if you're fighting if you're basically constantly at war and you've got a large, what are they called? Retinues used to be called, regiments, like men-at-arms, yeah. These just buff them basically. So if you've got large men-at-arms amounts in your realm, these are just fantastic choices. Sappers is, I think, underrated because it's really, really good if you're tribal and you are a little bit behind and you haven't got that siege equipment that can take down the castles at the right level. So, you need to get up to, with that plus 10 modifier and things like that with the siege equipment. This one is really, really good because it actually increases, heavy infantry, spearmen, archers, and skirmishers, how quick they siege. So it can negate some of that penalty from not having the correct siege equipment. Which if you've ever played a tribal playthrough and you come up against feudal, and you come up with like a level 16 fort, it's going to take like 4 years to siege down. This will speed that up. Not amazing, but it's literally the only way to speed it up, I believe, until you get the correct one. And then Strategist, All in all, I think this is a pretty good change. Yeah, +1 diplomacy, +3 martial. Crossing water without advantage penalties is actually really good, especially if you play somewhere where there's a lot of rivers and things like that, because you're not getting that disembarkation basically penalty for doing that. So strategist, I think, really good, especially if you do a lot of wars. It's a fantastic tree. So let's have a look. Where's the icon for it? It is this one. It is indeed. I'm going to say B, because it's generally, you can't go wrong choosing it. It's always going to be useful. If you're going to war, obviously if you're not doing a lot of wars, it's basically pointless. But if you're doing a lot of expansion, it's really, really good. You can't go wrong with it. Anyway, next one, Overseer. Serve the crown. There's someone in my chat, so I live stream here on YouTube quite often, and there's someone in my chat that basically always tells me to take this option no matter what. Doesn't even matter if I'm martial focused, for that +15 natural dread. I mean, that's just a good addition straight away. It's going to help prevent people joining factions and things like that, so it's pretty good. And control growth 0.3 doesn't sound like a lot, but again, if you're doing a lot of expansion or maybe have a lot of rebellions, again, that control back under control is always good. So pretty good choice at the beginning. Increased control is always great. Like I say, unless you're not really playing that kind of expansion gameplay, then it's not as good. Hard rule, dread gain. Siege against revolts, I mean, you never lose against revolts, really. Mercenary cost reduction. I mean, ever since they made the change to how much mercenaries cost, I think this, I don't know, I never find myself using mercenaries that much, to be honest, anymore, until I just, printing money, and then I'll pick them up just for dealing with rebellions. And during hardships, this is a really good one. If you get a lot of, if you're getting a lot of attacks by other realms into your land and you're always on the defensive, increase your full level +1. This is really good. Like I was saying earlier, if you've got those, if the enemy only has trebuchets, and I think that takes up to level 10 forts, if you have a level 10 fort and then you get that +1 to knock it to 11, their trebuchets aren't going to work properly against them. So don't quote me on those numbers. I've probably mixed up which ones are which, but that just +1 can make a big difference in different different skirmishes and things like that. Enemy occupations do not lower control. Again, if you're always on the defensive, if you're fighting long wars and they're always sieging down your land, again, underrated, because obviously the less control you have, the less money, the less troops you're getting from places. So that actually is really, really useful. Prepared conscription, army gold, maintenance reduction, and friendly territory levy reinforcement. Again, another defensive boon here. Your armies cost less and they're reinforced twice as quick if they're in friendly territory. Then absolute control, this just gives you bonuses if you have control maxed out. That gives you extra gold and levies, so if you do have that, it's a nice little bonus. It's quite a nice bonus because it actually gives you gold and levies, whereas everything else here generally doesn't. It kind of does kind of tangentially, but this one will give you more gold and more troops directly. And then Overseer, which I can't remember what it does. +2 martial, +2 stewardship, 50% control growth. Again, it kind of just feeds in with the rest of the tree. So all in all, I think a pretty good tree, especially if you're in a lot of defensive wars. It is really, really good. So let's say it's the big eyeball, keeping an eye on you as an Overseer. So let's put him on, I don't know, is it A tier? I don't think it's A tier. I think it's good, but it's not one you're probably always going to take. So I'll say B. That's what tier B is. It's pretty good, but you don't always take it. And then Gallant. This is my favourite tree by far in any of the lifestyles. Although, funnily enough, only half of it, the other half of it, I think is useless. So let's have a look. Gallant, stalwart leader. +4 prowess, pretty good. Reduces risk of commanding armies. Risk of commanding armies, so less chance to get injured or captured in battle, I think. And then you can challenge people. Now we're going to go down to the left-hand side first, because this is the half of the tree I never use, unless I have to. Romance, scheme, elope, chance. More chance people will marry you, which is actually pretty good. You can get those good alliances from that. So I guess it's kind of pretty good. Loyalty and respect, spouse opinion +50, skills from spouse, counselor task +25. I just think the left hand side of this Gallant tree is okay. I get what it's going for, you know, you're like honorary knights and things like that, so it's kind of like the knightly lifestyle, and then the fighting. But this side, I always go down second. Chivalric dominance, I think this is by far, someone will correct me in the chat, I think in the chat, in the comments, I think this is by far the best single perk you can get in the game. Plus 75% knight effectiveness. That nearly makes your knights twice as good. Which, you know, if you're going up against, maybe if you're a small realm, you're going up against a larger army, or one that's about the same as yours, people really underestimate how good knights are. You know, plus 75% is crazy. That means your knights. I've had battles, if you ever watch my live streams, I try and show it when I remember. I've had battles where my knights have killed more people, like 10 knights have killed more people than the entirety of my army. Like, they've killed more people than literally everyone else in my army combined. So, this is, I think, by far the best one. Obviously, if you're not doing wars, if you're playing, you know, marriage gameplay, or, you know, trying to get land through marriages, or you're just playing a peaceful play or something like that, obviously it's no good, but you're probably not in the martial tree if you're doing that. But I think this is fantastic. Never back down. Friendly fatal casualties minus 20%. Advantage plus 5 is pretty good. And then Kingsguard, you get more knights. So that's, you know, you get 4 more knights who are 75% better. You know, it's just stacking on those bonuses. And then Peacemaker, peace acceptance plus 10, which means you can make peace at 90 instead of 100 progress. Which, especially if you're doing a lot of wars, you can often get to like 90 to 95, you know, pretty quick, and then sometimes it's hard to get that knock up to 100. So this just lets you peace out quicker, which is, you know, really, really good if you're trying to just get out of wars, especially like rebellions and things like that. It helps you a little bit faster. And then Gallant gives you plus 2 martial, plus 4 prowess, 20% monthly prestige, and 20% attraction opinion. It's just a nice bonus, especially as this one gives you prestige, which none of the rest of the options do. So it's a nice little cap, like little bonus. That's you know, everything else is about fighting people. Prestige just gives you that nice little extra benefit at the end. So I think we all know how this is going to go. Where's Gallant? Here it is, S tier. I think it's the best one. Well, definitely so far, and like I say, it's my favourite one. If I play a martial character, Gallant, I'll always go down Gallant, at least on the right hand side, down to Kingsguard, before I do anything else. But yeah, let me know what you think. You know, is it one you use it? Do you think I overrate it? Maybe I do. Who knows? Anyway, Stewardship is our next one. We're getting there. We're halfway through nearly. Avaricious. Avaricious is fantastic. If you're running out of money, you know, you're a little bit short of money. Maybe you've just changed to feudal from tribal, and you're running out of, you know, that gold. Avaricious is fantastic. You can demand payment for hooks on the first option. So if you get a hook on someone, you can sell it. And it's generally around 50 gold. So, you know, if you get a lot of hooks from people, that's a lot of money. It really adds up. You can also mix that with, obviously, if you play Intrigue, especially Schemer and, yeah, I think it's Schemer, yeah, Kidnapper. You can basically abduct people and then just sell. You can release them with a hook and then just sell the hook. And you can basically just print money. So it's quite good. There's a lot of synergy between Intrigue and Avaricious. For making easy money. It is my domain. You can extort subjects. I never extort subjects. If someone does, please leave a comment and tell me why. But I guess if you're desperate for money, you would do it. Golden Aplomb, monthly income per stress level. I mean, I don't like being stressed, so not really that useful. Monthly income during war, 10%. I find it doesn't really add up to much. 10%. Really. Men-at-Arms, maintenance per dread. I mean, that one's not too bad. I mean, if you have, what, 100 dread, or is it 50, the cap? Do you know, I can't remember now. I think 50 is the cap, actually. 25% reduction. Yeah, it's okay. Vassal tax contribution plus 10. I think these are just too small. 10% until you're a large realm. Your vassal tax contribution isn't going to be a lot. So that plus 10 is going to be like, what, 0.5 gold? I think there's better bonuses elsewhere. Republican ruler opinion plus 20. I think this will get better when we get merchant republics in the game, which will happen at some point. Can you sell tiles decision? Again, I never use that. And then Avaricious gives us plus 2 stewardship and a holding tax plus 15, which is not too bad if you hold things. So Avaricious is a weird tree. The first pip, the first perk, is amazing, and the rest of the tree is not that good. So we're gonna see where that goes into our tier. Avaricious, I think it's gonna go C. Weirdly, I think Golden Obligations is almost S tier if you need money, but everything else in the tree is C. And do you know what? I'm almost no. Do you know it would go in D, but because of Golden Obligations, it's a C. It'd be a bit harsh to knock that off it as well. So anyway, let's keep going. Architect, Taxman plus 25%. Collect taxes effectiveness. Yeah, it's not too bad. Building reduction, more building reduction costs. Development growth. Fort plus 1. This is quite good. It's a it's a military bonus within the stewardship tree, which is quite well. Actually, administrator has some as well, but it's quite a nice additional bonus. It's not all about money. Organized muster rolls plus 100% levy reinforcement rate. Again, it's going to let your levies respawn quicker. Popular figurehead, popular opinion plus 50, which again is going to make your counties like you more, so you get more money, more troops. Divided attention plus 2 domain limit. This is, I think, better early game because it does allow you to keep more land for yourself, especially as you keep losing it. I suppose it's quite good end game when you get primogenitor and you can keep land for yourself. Obviously, the problem is if you die, then your heir doesn't have this. You've got to get rid of them anyway. But it just allows you to keep more land for yourself. And then Architect, I think this just gives you more reduction in costs. Yeah, it does. So Architect, I think, is good, but is very situational. If you're not building buildings during their lifestyle, I don't think it's really worth going down. But if you are, it's fantastic. The bonuses stack up so well that it's definitely one to pick if you are doing that. So yeah, it's the building option. So I'm going to say, do you know what? I don't know, B? C tier? No, I'm going to say B tier because it's a good tree, but it is very situational. Then Administrator, Meritocracy. You use claim thrown against your liege. Obviously, only good if you have a liege. If you don't, it literally does nothing for you. Large levies, so you get more levies from your vassals. Monthly tyranny reduction. Your vassals less likely to join independence factions. Pretty good. Chains of loyalty, domestic affairs, efficiency plus 25. Really, really good. Especially if you've got, if you die a lot, if you have a lot of air, if you're cycling through your lifetimes pretty quick. This is actually pretty good because it does get that early modifier to go against, was it early ruler modifier that you get for not having reigned that long. Direct vassal opinion plus 10. Plus 20 council opinion, really, really good. So that is fantastic. You get, I think it was plus 40 for being on the council, and then an extra 20. So basically, if you have someone on your council, it's very unlikely they'll dislike you. And obviously, they're going to be your powerful vassals where possible. So you're going to be keeping them on your side a lot easier. And then honored to serve. This will give you 20% more gold, 20% more levies. I mean, you can't say no to that, can you? And then administrator. I can't remember what this does, if I'm honest. Plus 1 diplomacy, plus 2 stewardship, plus 5 vassal opinion. Overall, I think administrator is really good. I think it's the best one in stewardship. I think it gives you nice bonuses all round, gives you vassal opinions, gives you, opinion modifiers, and then also less likely to join factions against you, gives you more troops, gives you more money, more levies. So overall, I think it's a fantastic trait. So I think administrator, what's the icon for it? It's the book. Which book? This book. There's too many books. I'm gonna say it's A tier. I think it's really, really good. Administrator. It's almost S tier. No, I think it's A tier. Like it's good. It's not utterly fantastic or broken, but it is good. And then Intrigue. So we're gonna make this really, really easy. If you ever, like say, watch any of my live streams, you know what's gonna come next. We're gonna go Schemer D tier, Seducer D tier, Torturer D tier, and we're done. That was quick. Anyway, we'll move on to learning. Not really. We'll talk over Intrigue. Now, I'll probably do maybe another video about Intrigue. I know people like Intrigue, and it does have its benefits. I've saved playthroughs by having an Intrigue character here or there, but I really think Intrigue is kind of boring and doesn't do that much. Like, I know it does. You can make, you can destabilize realms. You can make peace easier sometimes. You can get better marriages for your dynasty and things like that. But overall, I just don't like playing it. So, like, that's why I always say this is my opinion. And, if you love Intrigue, you're obviously going to be like, what are you doing, Malforian? Seducer's S tier. Schemer's S tier. But I don't think they are. Well, we'll have a look through them. I might move them up a little bit, just a bit of a meme at the beginning there. So Schemer enables fabricate hook scheme. I mean, this one is good. This is where you can mix this with Stewardship, and you can basically print money. You can fabricate hooks and then sell them. So do you know what? We'll change this. For Schemer, you can go up to C tier, because you can literally just print money with this if you mix these two. I mean, also you can use hooks on other things. You can use hooks to change religion, do other things like that. So it is actually pretty good. Find secrets progress. This is really good for destabilizing other realms. If you've got a large realm, Umayyads or something like that, and they just get out of hand, you can find secrets and just expose those secrets, and then obviously that leader gets reduced modifiers and things like that. So it's really, really good for destabilizing things. You can also abduct them and then do the same thing. Quarter showers, disrupt schemes, hostile scheme reduction chance. Obviously, it means you're less likely to get killed, etc. Murder scheme power chance plus 30. Again, that helps you destabilize people. You can kill your. If you're next in line for something, obviously you can kill the person who needs to die, so you take it. Hostile scheme, success chance plus 25. Twice schemed, you can do 2 hostile schemes at once. And then Schemer, I don't think I've ever finished this tree, so I have no idea what this does. Plus 5 intrigue, hostile scheme power, plus 25. Do you know what, I'm going to move this up. Go on. We'll move it to B tier. We'll move it to B. Schemer's really good. You can do those, you can do more schemes, and they're more effective and they're quicker. And especially if you're killing people to move up yourself, or maybe you've set up your dynasty to take over somewhere else, you can murder all the people you need to get them on the throne and stuff like that. So we will move him up to B tier. Seducer, this is basically all about just seducing people. Seduction chance increases. Your lovers are less likely to join murder schemes against you. Seducer, I'm going to leave Seducer at D tier though. If you don't do seduction, then it's I mean, it'd be the only reason why you would take it if you did, but it's the one tree I think where there's literally nothing in the tree that helps you if you don't do that one thing. Schemer's good. If you take this, you can make money out of it by doing this. As we saw in Stewardship, there's ones where I give you money, but there's also levy perks, things like that. Seducer is literally just about seducing people, and well, there's fertility, so kind of. So yeah, Seducer's staying where it is. We're going to leave it over there in the D tier. That's where they're staying. And then Torturer. I mean, Torturer is just a fun one, I suppose. At least you can torture. You can get 50% chance to gain intrigue or prowess. Dread gain plus 30%. You don't lose piety or clergy opinion when torturing or executing others. That is quite good, I suppose. Thriving in chaos, plus 4 martial, plus per stress level. So if you do have a stress leader, it is ludicrous the bonuses you can get from this. Well, there's 3 levels of stress, so 6, 12, 80. You get 18 prowess from this. But obviously, the more stressful you are, more likely you are to die. Dread gain per tyranny. It's not too bad, I don't suppose. And then if you have terrified or intimidated vassals, you get 30% more tax, 30% more levies. So again, I suppose this does actually have a nice mix. Imprison chance plus 50%, forever infamous, dread decay minus 1000. So you can basically do whatever you want, and that you never lose dread, like ever. No matter what you do, you can't lose dread. And then torture is the cap, and that is plus 4 prowess, 50% more dread. Hostile scheme resistance levy plus 10%. Joe, we're going to move torture up. I think we'll move it to C tier though. Still, it's actually okay, but again, it's not one that I would ever choose to go down. If I took over a character, I like to kind of roleplay when I'm doing my campaigns. So you know, if I take over an Intrigue character, I never respec them into another tree. I'll play them as an Intrigue character. I think Torture is the one I generally go down because it does have some pretty good bonuses. Also, if you take over and everyone hates you, Torture is quite good because you can, you know, you get your dread higher, and then your dread is also going to prevent people from joining factions against you. But then also they also give you more money and more levies. So it is actually quite good in some situations. But overall, I think it's C tier. We'll move it up. We'll move it up. Move it up to B tier. Move it up. It's actually not too bad. Again, someone will be screaming at me in the comments about how Intrigue's the best part of the game, and I do it wrong, which is a valid opinion. So here we go. We're on the last bit. We're on learning lifestyle. We've been going for 30 minutes, so we're nearly going to wrap this video up. Yeah, Whole of Body. Whole of Body is a weird one. It's really good if you want to live for a long time. If you don't want to live for a long time, it's useless. And basically what it does, it gives you buffs to your disease, chance of getting diseases, reduced chance of your courtiers get illnesses. So, you know, if you do get, like, you know, the plague coming through, it is quite good, reduces their risks. Also gives you fertility improvements and massive boost to disease resistance. Core physicians are less, cost less to hire. Core physicians, though, don't ever press that find a core physician. Always just find someone in your realm who's got good learning and then just hire them. It's always way cheaper. So this is actually less useful than it could be. Core physician treatments have better outcomes, though, is obviously great. Healthy just gives you a big boost to health. And then Whole of Body, I think this also gives you a boost to health. Yeah, fertility and a health boost and minus 20% stress. So Whole of Body is good. You know, if you take over a young character and they're really good, Whole of Body can be good because obviously you get to live longer, but obviously you can still die from war, disease and stuff like that. It just makes it less likely. Now, I think I always have this discussion in the chat when we're doing streams and we're talking about Whole of Body. Whole of Body, you know, if you take it at the beginning, then you're missing the bonuses from doing other trees. But if you take it at the end, I think it's better to take it at the end. You know, if you're getting to like 40 or 50 years old, that's when I think I'd start taking Whole of Body, because then all my previous time I've been getting bonuses from other trees. I think if you take it first, there's a chance you'll die and literally have had no bonuses really during your playthrough, especially because the other two trees are just way better for day-to-day gameplay. So I'd probably take one of these and then Whole of Body. That's how I'd do it. But you know, we'll see. Like I say, Whole of Body, where is it going to go on the list? I think Whole of Body, very situational. So it's going in the B tier. Scholar. Scholar is really good. Scholar's one of my favourite trees. Your wards can get additional skills and can become your friends. You know, if you do wards, which I don't often enough, but if you do, then you get nice little bonuses. The next two are fantastic, especially if you're growing your realm in areas where you're different cultures, different religions. They're fantastic. Different culture opinion, plus 15. And then apostate, I think is the next one. Different faith opinion, plus 15. So, you know, if you have different culture, different faith, it means people are going to like you more. It does help reduce rebellions due to those being incorrect. And then faith conversion costs minus 75. It's okay, but how often do you change your faith? And I don't think I'd ever spec into a lifestyle solely to change my religion. My faith. Yeah, same thing. If I was gonna, I guess I'd choose it. Scientific, cultural fascination progress, plus 35. If you're playing I guess if you're playing anyone really, cultural fascination progress is fantastic. Just helps you get those techs quicker and quicker. So really, really good. Planned cultivation, increased development in county efficiency, plus 20. Again, especially if you're a realm who, you know, is, you know, if you're not the Byzantines, Cordoba, Italy, you know, helping getting your development up is really, really useful, especially if you're playing a long campaign. So really good option, I think. Scholarly circles, learning per level of devotion. Obviously, if you have a devoted character, that's a lot. I think there's 5 levels of devotion, so you can get 10 extra learning just from this. Learning on the job, 20% of counselors' opinion skills added to your own. fantastic, especially if you have good counselors. Sanction loopholes can buy claim interaction. I don't buy claims that often, but if you do, it's a good option. You know, you can get those claims from the Pope to invade other people. And Scholar, which I think, yeah, gives you +5 learning, hostile scheme. This is quite a good one. Development growth +15. I like this like cap skill because that development growth increase is fantastic, 50%, and also does help you in schemes. So it's a nice one where you get a bonus that isn't directly related to lifestyle. So yeah, overall, Scholar is fantastic. So I think Scholar is going to go, is it A S tier? I think it is. I think it is. It is S tier. If I had to choose a tree, Scholar would nearly always be one that I would choose because it's just got really nice bonuses. You know, you get opinion modifiers, your realm grows better, so it's kind of got that diplomacy and stewardship kind of mixed into the tree, which is really good. So I'm going to put S tier. So we're going to have these two at S tier, and then the very last one is going to be Theologian, which is really good for one thing. It's good for other things, but it's really good for one thing. Clergy opinion +10. +10 doesn't matter, really. What's +10? Just give them a gift. Convert faith in county progression speed +25. If you're doing, you know, Mother of Us All or another achievement where you need to convert people, obviously fantastic. Religious icon. Convert. This just reduces further penalties for doing conversion. So these two basically combined just really help you convert places. I think these two plus some of the religious tenants, when I was doing Mother of Us All, we were converting counties in like 4 months or something insane. So really, really good if you're obviously wanting to convert people, which you probably are on a general campaign. And profit is amazing. Monthly piety per night is pretty good. The main bonus though is faith creation and reformation costs -50%. You know, especially if you're playing a Satru or, you know, one of these well, obviously if they're unreformed faiths, half the cost. So, you know, all you need to do is play a character, you know, get the 3 holy sites, is it, and then have skill that leader that you think is going to live long enough to get enough piety and things like that. Skill him into profit, and it's half the cost, which is a lot. Because if, you know, reforming, say, a Satru to some really good options, I think it's about 7,000 faith. It obviously cuts it to 3,500, which is it's a lot. That's a lot of faith you're saving. So it's really good for that. Really, really good. It's almost broken in some respects for converting people. Religious relation, that's pretty good. Church and state realm priest opinion +50. You know, that's all right. Radiant level of devotion impact +100 is really good. Obviously, if you have a highly devout character, doubles the bonus. Which I think is all modifiers towards people of your faith. So if you're Catholic, all Catholic people will like you twice as much. So you can get this. Really helps getting some alliances later on. Well, at any point in the game, to be honest, because obviously they really, really like you. Defender of the faith, tyranny gain -25%, same faith bonus +5. It's okay. I kind of feel like this one should be better for how far it is down the tree. I mean, it's all right. And then theologian. Let's have a look. I can't remember what this gives us. +3 learning, 20% more piety. So, you know, if you filled out this tree, you get the more piety, and that's going to help you, you know, combine with profit. It means you can probably convert, reform a faith or create a splinter of a faith or something like that. So theologian, it's our last one. We finally got there. Theologian is going to go in. The weird thing is, I'm going to put it in A tier because it for what you want it to do, converting faith or, well, reforming a faith, it's S tier. It's ridiculously powerful. But outside of that, there's not a lot in there that's amazing, but it's so good at that one thing that I'm going to put it in A tier. I mean, it's obviously like C tier, I think, if you don't want to do that, but you wouldn't take it anyway if you weren't. Anyway, guys, there you have it. That's the tier list, as I've said all the way through the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You know, do you agree with it? Do you not? Have I put some things in the wrong place? Am I thinking, not thinking of the correct scenarios where I could be doing something else? And, you know, maybe one trait is really good. I've just not realized what it could be really good at. Let me know down below. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I do videos on Crusader Kings. I live stream. I also play other strategy games and things like that. So if you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. And yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. I'll see you in the next one.